Hey, what's going on, guys? In today's lesson, we're going to be talking about tone and how to EQ your bass. We're going to be specifically talking about this bass, the Squier bass. I get a lot of questions from you guys asking, how do I EQ this bass? So we're finally going to be talking about that coming up. All right, guys, so just a quick introduction. I'm going to be showing you the EQ on this Squier Jaguar modified jazz bass. All right, so first of all, you have to take into consideration that you have these pickups, two different types of pickups. You have this jazz pickup back here, and then the split pickup, the precision bass pickup here. So these are both single coil pickups. Yeah, they're just placed in a different way. So first of all, this bass has an active circuit. So it takes a 9-volt battery to complete that circuit. It has a compartment in the back that you can put a 9-volt battery in. And we'll go over active versus passive, but I'm sure you guys are aware of active and passive basses. All right, so this just happens to be an active one. So on this bass, you have 4 knobs here. All right, so your first 2 knobs control these 2 pickups. All right, so the first knob controls the one closest to the front or closest to the neck. All right. And then the second knob controls the one to the back, the bridge pickup. All right. So if you turn this all the way up, this is just how this works. It's not every bass doesn't use this particular setup. All right. But it's just a 2 knob, control. So if I turn that all the way up, it's just using that pickup. If I turn it all the way down, it's not using the pickup. Okay. If I turn this one all the way up, it's only going to be using this pickup. All right. Then if you turn them both together, they're going to be used both together. They're going to be turned up volume wise together and blended together. Okay. So the next knob, this is like your boost, your overall boost of all your frequencies, just the overall complete hike up of, the power of the bass. All right. So you'll hear when I do a demonstration, you'll hear exactly what that sounds like. And then the last but not least is your tone control, your master tone control. And you'll hear the difference between that one too. Now, in the beginning, the clip that I played, I had both pickups all the way up, turned all the way up, cranked all the way up. All right. Those are both pickups all the way up. The boost knob, I'll call that the boost knob, is actually all the way down. So it could actually be a little bit more powerful than that. So I'll bring it up a little bit so you can see the difference. I'll keep these up and I'll turn the boost. All right, so you hear the difference between that. I'll turn it up even more. I'll crank it up all the way. Now I didn't mess with the volume control. That was just the boost, right? I didn't mess with the pickup control. All right, so that knob, that's what the difference of that knob sounds like. Now I'm just going to roll back and use this neck pickup for right now. I'm going to turn this pickup, this bridge pickup off and use a neck pickup. Use this P bass precision pickup. So, all right, so you hear the difference between that. All right, you lose a little bit of the clarity, the high-end clarity that you would get from the jazz pickup or from the bridge pickup, only because of the placement of where it is. All right, so you're getting more of this tone right here. All right. All right, let me boost it up a little bit. All right, so you hear the difference between that. All right, so it has that more P bass type of sound. All right, so it depends on what kind of sound you're going for, because I experiment with all different sounds, but mainly I think what people are asking me is that particular sound that I get, almost like the Jocko sound. Okay, so what I'll do is I'll switch pickups. Okay, so I'm going to turn this pickup down. I'm going to turn the neck pickup down, the P bass pickup, and then I'm going to turn the jazz pickup back here on the bridge. I'm going to turn that up. All right, so here's how that sounds. All right, so you hear that sound. It's a little bit more punchy. All right, it has a little bit more brightness to it. It opens it up a little bit more, so you hear the clarity of the higher notes. But it does empty. It sounds a little bit empty in the low end department, only because I took that first pickup all the way down. All right, so if you want to manipulate this bass in a way in that kind of way to bring down your lows, sometimes I would bring that first pickup down. All right, so now let's hear how it sounds when I bring that up. So this is bridge, both pickups are engaged. Okay, so both pickups are all the way up. So now you're hearing the clarity of the high end and some of the low end too. So this is sometimes where I would like to play. Yeah, so this is sometimes where I would like to play just so I can have the variety of lows to highs. All right. And sometimes I'll bring that, just me particularly, I'll bring this pickup, the control for this pickup, the precision pickup, I'll bring that down just a little bit so the highs can, you know, stretch out a little bit more and kind of come on top of the low end. All right, so bring the lows just in. You see how it rounds it out. All right, but last but not least, let's mess around with the tone control. All right, so now I actually have the tone control all the way up. So it has that almost trebly feel when it's all the way up. All right, but let me bring it down. Well, let me play something for you now so you can hear the difference between it. Bring it down. All right, so the tone control is all the way down right now. So you hear how it kind of rounds it out, but at the same time, I'm still getting the clarity of the high end, that punch of the high end. It's still, the mids are still there. So you could just mess around with the EQ if you want. That's what I would do. That's what I did when I was first, you know, kind of figuring out what EQ was and how I wanted it to sound. It's just literally messing with every single knob I possibly could, try to figure out all these different combinations. If it needed something more, I would bring that up. If it needed something less, I'll bring it down. Just really understanding what each knob does. I know a lot of people really don't even know what their knobs do if they had a bass for a while. They really don't even know what the knobs, you know, what the names of the knobs are. But that's very important to know if you want to achieve a certain sound. So I just wanted to get the myth, kind of to crush that myth, because people think a cheaper bass is a cheaper sound, but not necessarily. But if you know what you're doing and if you can EQ correctly, you'll be able to get a decent sound out of a more affordable bass. This is a very affordable bass. This is what I recommend to a lot of beginners. I get that question asked a lot too. I'm first starting off bass. What should I get? This is a great beginner bass. And a lot of people tell me they have trouble finding it, and I'll put a link down in the description or a link somewhere to this actual bass. It might be a different color, but I'm not sure. But either way, it's the same exact model, same exact thing. Very affordable, very decent bass. I would recommend to a lot of people, a lot of beginners. Oh yeah, I almost forgot to mention, you want to listen to this with headphones on because you want to get the full idea of how this sounds and how the different pickups sound and how the different combinations of the EQ sound. All right, and just to figure out if you actually want to buy this bass or want to purchase this bass. But yeah, that's just in a nutshell, a little overview of EQ. And if you were wondering, I'm coming out of the GK Plex here, the Galen Kruger Plex. I have it set flat, so it's not doing, it's not manipulating the sound too much at all. So I'm kind of bypassing, almost going straight through to show you guys the sound. But this is just what I'm running through right now. And if you guys want to, are interested in that, I'll have a link to that in the description as well. But anyway, if you guys take your time, make sure you know what your knob controls are. You can achieve whatever sound you want to achieve in whatever bass that you have. All right. Obviously, the tones are going to be a little bit different as far as the wood combinations and things like that. But that was just, you know, simple breakdown of the EQ of a Squier Jaguar bass. All right, guys, so if you're new here and you haven't subscribed yet and you want to learn more about bass, how to play, EQ, tone settings, all of that good stuff, everything there is to know about bass, you want to go ahead and subscribe. Click that button here to subscribe to the channel. Also visit the website, DerekBennett.com, where there's so much more information just like this. You'll have more access to me. I'll be able to provide you feedback. There's just a ton more stuff you can do on the website. So go ahead and visit that. It's a free trial. Try it out. You have nothing to lose. All right, so there will definitely be more like this, so stay tuned for the next.